So the Premier League season is just around the corner. Before we get there though, I'm going to tell you the players that have been banging in the goals in pre-season coming up next. What's up guys, and welcome to JNO United, bringing you the best in football news, entertainment and games. And today we are looking at the strikers that have been banging in the goals in pre-season. But before we get into that, make sure to like the video, subscribe if you're new around here, and share it around. See how many people we can get involved with 30 Days of FPL as it's coming to its end. And make sure if you're available on Saturday around 10 o'clock, join in on the live stream before the Premier League season starts, where I will be rating as many teams as possible and deciding my final side. But let's get on to the players who've been scoring the goals and can get you the points from pre-season. The first up, and he has to be first, is Andre Gray. Now he's played 6 games in pre-season and he has come up with a total of 9 goals, 3 of which came against Rangers, who have just been promoted back into the top division in Scotland. 2 of them came against Bradford, but the big game for Burnley was against Real Sociedad, and Gray managed to score against them as well, meaning he's scored in all 6 games of pre-season. And if he can carry that form on into the Premier League, even if it's only for a few weeks, then that means he could be that cheap budget striker that you need. Next up is a player from the new look Everton, and the player is Gerard Deulofeu. Now he had good spells last season, but in pre-season this year he has looked very impressive in the new Koeman Everton setup, as has Barkley in fact, but Deulofeu has come up with 3 goals. He's also been chipping in with assists and has just looked like his pace this year could be a major threat in a Koeman side. And also on the plus side, Ronald Koeman has attempted to use Gerard Deulofeu in a false 9 role and also as one part of a 2-man strike force alongside Romelu Lukaku. Now Romelu Lukaku is probably going to move on, that's what the rumours are at the moment, to another club, most likely Chelsea. But if he's willing to try Deulofeu up top, then he may be willing to try that when Lukaku moves on, and then we have an out of position gem who has been scoring goals in pre-season. We move on to Liverpool, and everyone is stressing about what players to pick from the Liverpool team. You have Mane, Firmino, Coutinho, Lallana, Wijnaldum. So many options. You could even go with Sturridge if he ever decides to be fit for a season. And they have Danny Ings if Danny Ings is played. Now the reason Firmino stands out is because along with Mane, he's the player most likely to play an up-front role for Liverpool. He's been attempted in a false 9, he's a very attacking player, and he has managed to score 3 goals this pre-season, more than any other Liverpool player so far that I've just mentioned. So that is why I would go with Firmino if you're picking a Liverpool player. Now, I didn't think I'd be saying this, but a player that has been scoring goals in pre-season is Fabio Borini from Sunderland. Now, whether you want to go with a Sunderland player is questionable, but the fact is, under David Moyes, he may get a new lease of life, and he's managed to impress in pre-season, so he may get some extended game time in the league, and maybe he could become the player that he has sometimes shown promise to become, but has failed to live up to those expectations so far. Andre Ayew has confirmed his move to West Ham, and a player that could benefit from that is Wayne Routledge, who has scored 5 goals this pre-season for Swansea. With Ayew out, Routledge may be able to find his way into that Swansea side, and he's shown in pre-season 5 goals in 6 games is an incredible return. I would just add to that though that Wayne Routledge's goals have come against opponents that I wouldn't say are the best opponents to be scoring goals against as far as converting those goals into the Premier League season. And finally, I get to mention a West Ham player because Andy Carroll has scored 4 goals this pre-season. If we consider that 2 of those goals came against Juventus, literally the weekend just gone, then maybe Carroll is in form, and maybe if Payet manages to get fit enough for the start of the season with Feghouli and Andre Ayew, maybe that West Ham attacking force will be impressive and get Carroll those crosses that he needs to get those goals. Anyway guys, I hope I've shed some light to you on players who have been scoring the goals in pre-season. Will you go with any of them? Leave in the comments down below if you're going to take a risk with any of those players that I've mentioned. Thank you so much for tuning in as always. I've been JNO, you've been awesome, and remember, it's all about the game.